Thank you for double-clicking your mouse tonight. You're listening to the Midnight Frightcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Midnight Frightcast. This is episode number 68. I am your host this evening. It is Greg the Movie Guy, back in the seat. Actually, I should say back in the seat because I've been here, I think, the last 3 times we've done this. So I haven't been phoning it in from Omaha anyways. From Omaha anyways.
Yeah.
To my right, we have our Scream Queen, Maddie.
Hey.
To my front, it is the not nicknamed Josh, or the so many nicknames I can't remember Josh.
I'm trying to find my fucking news.
Trying to find his fucking news, Josh. On my left, we have the doctor of everything else. It is Patrick.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
I didn't know if that's where you wanted that 5 seconds of silence.
Oh, no.
All right, let's rock it right into it. We watched a trailer for a movie called
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man 2, The Invisible Man.
They made a Hollow Man too.
Did they?
Oh, did
Yeah,
they?
they did.
Was it with Kevin Bacon?
No,
then
it was not.
Then it wasn't good. We watched a.
Neither was Hollow Man.
Hey, if it didn't have Kevin Bacon in it, then it was worse than it was. We watched the trailer for Invisible Man, starring Elizabeth Moss. I think it comes out in February 2020. What was everybody's thoughts on The Invisible Man?
You know, there's
That's
some
a good
things.
start.
Actually, there's some things in there that I really dug. I think it's an intriguing idea, but once Josh said Hollow Man, then I went, oh, well, yeah, fuck. I love Elizabeth Moss. I mean, she's a great actress.
Absolutely.
I dig pretty much everything she does. Too bad she's a Scientologist. That's neither here nor there. But I kind of dug this trailer. It kind of grabbed my attention. I don't think I'm going to chase it, but I'm definitely going to catch it.
I think I agree with you. I'm more excited than I feel like I should be for this trailer because there was a lot of really cool moments in there. My biggest thing, and I'm pretty sure I'm not saying I know what's going to happen at the end, but I'm pretty sure once you get to the end, it's going to be the biggest kick in the balls, and the rug's just going to pull out from under you for the end of the story, the reveal.
Like most movies anymore.
Like most movies anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want a strong ending.
Exactly.
Couple extra tugs.
Nice little happy ending. I'll probably see it. I don't know where I'll see it, but I'm not holding my hopes up too high.
Yeah, I mean, Hollow Man was, I don't know. I've never seen the original Invisible Man, so I don't know how, if it's remotely close, this story is or what the premise is behind the original movie. So I don't know how to compare. I don't know if this is like a whole new take, but I'm not fucking kidding when I say Hollow Man. This is like a guy goes crazy and turns himself invisible and then fucking stalks his girlfriend who can do nothing about it, and then it's just crazy. It's Hollow Man with a less attractive female lead.
Oh, I disagree.
Who was the lead in Hollow Man?
It was her name. She's from Adventures in Babysitting.
Elizabeth
Shue.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. So
just likes the shoe.
Who doesn't like a good shoe?
I can't get behind this movie at all. And I'd love to be able to say I can get behind these new Universal monster movies, but like they don't look good at all. Tom Cruise just made that fucking Mummy disaster movie, and I heard that was complete dog shit.
It kind of had nothing to do with any of the original concept for the Mummy.
None of these do that
because
at
I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to make a revival of the Universal Monsterverse because they came out with Dracula's Untold,
Which was great.
It wasn't bad.
Is that part of it?
Yeah.
They were trying to bring that whole universe together, and
Gotcha.
it hasn't really come to fruition.
No, it's so far what I've seen is like absolute dog manure. So I just don't think I could go see this movie.
I didn't know that. Who Elizabeth Shue was. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was the lead
She was
from
in
The
The
Boys.
Boys.
Yeah, it just dawned on me.
She's in The Boys and she's in Adventures
She's
in
babysitting.
Good to know.
Maddie, go ahead.
Was she not also in that Nicolas Cage
She's
movie?
in Leaving
where
Las
she
Vegas.
Leaving Las
Yes,
Vegas,
she was. She's been in a lot of things.
I was actually more into this movie when I thought it was like a ghost thing. I want to be so petty that I can annoy people beyond the grave, but after it kind of came out, oh, it's the Invisible Man, I'm just like, bitch, throw some flour on him and move on. Like, what the hell? I just totally lost interest. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a really good get around. Like, just throw some glitter and
dirt,
some just like
it worked in Paranormal Activity. Why wouldn't it work in this?
hello. Yeah,
throw some powder on the floor. You can see he's walking across. Not
Right.
like he can crawl on the walls or the ceiling.
yeah, it's just once that kind of got revealed, I just didn't give a fuck anymore.
Sure.
So I won't be seeing this, chasing it, catching it. I'm just gonna write this off as, will you try it?
If you accidentally walked into this movie, would you purposely walk out?
I can't see myself
Does that
accidentally.
make sense? Like, if this movie was on TV and you were like, oh, what's this? And then you found out it was the Invisible Man, would you be like, fuck this shit, I'm turning it off? Or would you, like, I'm talking like for
how
free.
drunk am I?
I don't know. You just
Yes.
bottle. Yes.
I don't know. I'd probably watch it for a couple minutes, but another thing that kind of drove me nuts, and this could have just been the way the trailer was chopped up, is the dialogue. I thought was really bad. I just felt like everything they were saying was really choppy and not really like, it didn't sound like shit that actual people would say.
There you are.
Yeah, there you are. No, I say that to my cat when I find her under the bed, not like, oh, hey,
There you are.
hey, ghost man, there you are. Come get your kibbles.
You know, I got to say though, after seeing her in *Handmaid's Tale* and then in *Us*,
Oh, she
Elizabeth
is in
Moss,
those.
Yep.
she plays a good deranged woman. You know, where she's got to be that heightened, crazy, almost type thing.
Is she actually like not playing in movies anymore, and she actually is
That could
crazy?
be.
They're just throwing her in situations. They're like, "Fuck you, Oscar."
She is a Scientologist.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of crazy, I'm sure.
All right.
So
So,
February 28th.
February
as a matter of
28th. Oh, okay. So
Skip it.
take your date to go see the Invisible Man so you can say, there you are.
fact. Just take some flour, talcum powder.
That's the kind of flowers you should bring to that date.
There you go.
Let's keep rolling along with, hey, Patrick.
Hey, Greg.
It's the news.
News.
I feel like that was the extended news.
Yeah,
I feel like that went on for a really long
Just-
time.
No, it's
that
because
time.
For you.
last time you
No,
said
wait for
you
Christmas.
almost missed this.
I know.
And
That was,
that
it had
was-
been a while, and so now it's like, all right, we did that. That was extended news. It just felt extended that time.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And it'll keep getting longer.
I could go on for like 4 or 5
That's what
minutes.
she said. Who's got news for us?
I'm just going to loop it.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
All right, who's got news for us?
I got news
All right.
from Bloody Disgusting. And this one, as a matter of fact, is for you, Greg.
Beer.
While countless numbers of his characters have already been made into them, now Stephen King is finally getting his very own pop vinyl toy from Funko.
I almost shared that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't.
There are two versions of it. One is just him in his black shirt and pants holding a book, and the other one is basically the same thing except blood covered holding an axe in a book.
I think I would like that one more.
Barnes and Noble exclusive for that one.
Interesting. I got to go to Barnes & Noble more because I found some really good ones.
You saw Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, they had some good ones when you and I met there
had-
that one time.
Yeah.
Barnes & Noble. Target's is not a great selection.
No.
They've been kind of shitty. So
No.
cool.
J.J.
Stephen King.
Abrams, you saw. Was
It didn't
there.
say
Yeah.
it didn't say what date it was going to be released. It said as of now they didn't know. It says coming soon.
Soon.
But look for him because I will definitely want to get one of those.
Yeah, that'd be
The
cool. Add
Blood
that.
covered holding an axe in a book.
Add that
As
to my
if
collection.
the
That'd
guy
be fun.
didn't have enough goddamn money. Now they've made him into a pop figure.
Oh, come on. You.
Oh, I'll get
It ha-
one.
it
Don't
had-
get me wrong.
It had to happen at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So-
So that's my news.
That's your news? Okay.
I walked into this article. Patrick shared it too. I had shared it, and I'm curious. It doesn't know if they're going to continue a story or if they're going to reboot this, but they're talking about continuing Scream or rebooting Scream again. I loved Scream when it came out, when Wes Craven did that. I was a huge fan of Scream. They got worse after 2.
As they do.
As they do sometimes. But the article that I have says they didn't know if they were going to continue it or if it was going to be a reboot. And then I saw a recent article that Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell and David Arquette are going to come back for it.
Oh, my
so
God.
that can't be a reboot. That's got to
Right.
be a
That's got to
continuation,
be a sequel.
right?
Yeah.
Right, and
So-
the article that I read today, it's still a rumor that they're trying to bring those people back.
Got
That
you.
Nobody has confirmed yet that they are looking for them to come back.
Unless they come back and they play different characters, and then I guess you could call it a reboot,
that
but
wouldn't
still,
make
that
any
would be
sense.
it wouldn't make any sense at all.
You're
But
still going to know them as who they were.
right. It's just going to
movie.
throw people off, and they're going to try and take it in different weird
Right.
ways, and it'll turn out to be MTV TV series. Oh, they did that.
Yeah, I mean, so I'd rather them not reboot it. For me, like if you're going to do a reboot, you're going to do something better than it was done the first time, and I don't think you can do that with this property. You can't make it better.
You can't do that with any property. I have yet to see a reboot that is better than the original.
Well, I can say I have some, but it doesn't matter. This one would not be.
I think we need to save that for a topic
Yeah.
because that would be
that'd be a good topic.
a really good discussion.
Reboots
That are supposedly better than originals.
See,
because
folks,
I
you're
haven't
getting
seen any.
This is some behind the scenes shit right here.
You're watching the sausage get made.
So, but yeah, I'd rather them do a continuation and see kind of where they would go versus a reboot and just kind of ruin it even more, I guess. That's just me. Scream's coming though, supposedly, I guess. And if you were not old enough to see the original Scream when it came out, maybe you'll enjoy.
Like me,
Like you, yeah.
not old enough to
The
have seen.
reboot. Maddie.
Mine isn't totally horror movie related, but it has to do with our last feature. Chuck E. Cheese has announced that it is getting rid of its creepy animatronic band.
This is sad.
It is sad.
It's really sad.
But I love the timing. I love the timing that they were like, fuck, right after
Yeah.
the
Right.
Banana Splits came out. They were
Right.
probably like, fuck, we almost had that happen. Some program
Yeah.
rebooted and we almost died.
Like,
There was
for me, it's not too sad, but I do remember going to there and seeing other kids completely loving the animatronic band on that. So yeah, I mean, from a parent point of view, yeah, that's kind of sad.
Right. That's like that was my childhood.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
it's a
say.
nostalgia thing.
Showbiz was my
Showbiz.
childhood.
Showbiz Pizza. Yep.
And not so much Chuck E. Cheese, but even when they got rid of the Showbiz animatronics and changed them out for the shittier version, which was Chuck E. Cheese, I was bummed out.
You would think that it wouldn't be so bad if they would just have updated the technology, because it's still that very stiff move and robotic.
I don't know, but that
feel
was
to
part
it.
of like the charm.
It is, but I mean, like, in a world full of CGI and everything else that our kids are exposed to,
Right.
you'd want something that moved more smoothly or something
You're
like
going to
that.
be looking at some like Disney level shit if you
I
want to
know.
upgrade that, which you're not going to be putting Disney level shit and fucking Chuck E. Cheese is all over the
Did you read
nation.
the actual article?
I just say parents
Maddie?
drink more when they
Did
get
they
there.
talk about? Is it like a money thing?
It
or,
didn't sound like it was a money thing. It just sounded like they just wanted to go in a different direction, because it said they were still going to keep the big rat, and he was going to they were going to just have the person
You mean Chuck E.
wandering.
in the
Cheese?
costume.
They were going to just have the person in the costume. They wanted it to be, because you can't interact with the animatronic things
Yeah.
up there. They wanted the big rat to go around and hug on the kids and be like, oh, happy birthday, and blah 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 blah, and
Yeah,
whatever. They just said they just wanted it to go in a different direction. They did seem to acknowledge, they're like, we know this is what people grew up with, and apparently they've been phasing that band out since 2017 or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I also kind of wonder, we have a Chuck E. Cheese here in Lincoln. I never see anyone at it.
it's
When I drive by, it's usually pretty busy.
Okay.
My oldest daughter worked there for 4 years, something like
Oh.
that, out of high school into college. And they were always busy during that time as well.
they've
Okay.
gone away from tokens. I know now, and now they do preloaded
cards.
Oh,
because my dad will still take my kids there once in a while, and they've updated all the video games and they've gotten rid of the cool shit. I just can't imagine walking in, because they have birthday parties and shit there too.
Yep.
And you go where you sit, that's where the stage is. And so when you're sitting there eating your pizza, your shitty pizza, and the adults are drinking their beer and you're eating your cake, that's where you get the
Yeah.
show part of that experience. That they're going to take that away. What the fuck the kids are going to stare at? I don't know.
They'll probably do some pre-production, or not pre-production, but some video produced
could be.
giant
Yeah.
so we
movie
can watch
theater
more fucking
screen.
TV.
So they can
instead
still
of-
sing the songs, etc.
They'll probably make it like an interactive thing.
Yeah,
or
I was
something
going to
like
say,
that.
I would imagine it'd be
Is
more
Chuck E. Cheese
high-tech.
going to get on the stage and fucking do a magic show?
He's going to get up there and strip.
It's going to do some do some Magic Mike shit.
I can't go there anymore because all I see when I look around is urine.
Yep. That's
That's why they got rid of the ball pit.
Oh, yeah, 'cause kids get
I'm
peeing
sure.
in there. Sure.
That's
yeah.
the last experience I had at Chuck E. Cheese was
Peeing in a ball pit?
No, but I
In the tunnels?
no.
It's the other one that Alexis always talks about kids either peeing or puking in the
The
tunnels.
bathrooms at Chuck E. Cheese are disgusting. The last time I was there was a urinal full of vomit that had people just flushing it, and it was just spilling up over the lip of the urinal onto the floor. And we told multiple people there, including a manager, and nobody would go fucking clean it up.
Awesome.
I'm so hungry.
They don't get paid enough.
No, they probably
No.
don't.
So
They really don't.
you couldn't always buy alcohol at Chuck E. Cheese,
No,
right?
that was
No, when I was younger, I remember
Yeah.
you can't because my parents probably would have had a better
Yeah,
time.
now you can no longer go and do that experience without drinking
exactly.
to get through it.
I think they understood their target audience at that point.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
they're like all of
the
our
kids are
orig-
having fun. Let's help the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like all of our original people are all grown up now, and they need to get fucking.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that was probably about 12, 13 years ago they started that because it was while Alexis was working there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a really long news.
Yeah, that was an interesting tangent
Yeah,
on Chuck E.
for
Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm kind of impressed. So, did you have anything else?
No.
That was it? Okay. So, yours was semi-horror related. Mine is even further from that. Who here likes baseball? Maddie hates baseball. I know it.
Yeah, baseball is horrible.
This is from minorleaguebaseball.com, MILB.com. In 2020, the Rocky Mountain Vibes will be one of 22 teams participating in Minor League Baseball's Copa de la Diversión program for the first time. Out of these teams, their vibe is the spookiest. The Vibes, rookie advanced affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, will suit up as the can't even say it, the Lloronas de la the Lloronas. Just something really interesting that they're using the
I know they're
the
going to paint
La
their
Llorona.
faces and shit.
I don't think they're going to paint their faces, but their logo's kind of badass.
I say, like,
that is
talk
a cool
about
logo.
intimidation.
right?
Yeah.
So
The best one is still the Rocket City, Alabama Trash
Pandas.
Yes.
people do not appreciate the amazingness that is minor league baseball logo or
Yeah, I know.
mascots.
It's amazing.
Because there are some great ones out there. Like one of them, I think they're for the Tampa Bay Rays, is the Montgomery Biscuits. Why do you name your team that?
I don't know.
The
I still
biscuits.
The Biscuits.
When my-
Biscuits.
when my-
Biscuits.
when my brother was getting
Biscuits.
drafted, we were just like, you cannot go to the fucking Shockers. Then we had to explain to my mom what that was. It was just the worst thing ever. My mom was like, why can't he go to the Shockers? 'Cause, Mom.
This is why.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your hands? Never mind.
That's the next thing we're going to teach your kids is just walk. This means cool. This means party.
Yeah.
Party.
Go to your teacher and be like, "What's up, teacher? What's up?" Don't do that.
So, not an overly exciting piece of news, but just it's kind of neat that they're utilizing the Legend of La Llorona as their mascot for a few games this upcoming season. So, I've already reached out to them to see if I could get some gear because I really like the logo.
That logo is pretty cool.
Yeah, sometimes their like special edition jerseys are real cool. Like I have a Star Wars one from my brother's team.
Oh, they do Star Wars too because the Storm Chasers do Star Wars as well, but they look like they're like screen printed on and not really all that fantastic.
Yeah.
So hopefully theirs are better.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right. That was. I'm going to wait until Josh is done taking drink. That was the news.
This is getting ridiculous.
No, it is not.
Oh, we have not yet hit ridiculous.
All right. Moving along. We have all been watching movies, but I want to know what we have been watching. Who's been watching what? Maddie, what have you been watching?
Oh shit, what have I been watching? I've been rewatching The Boys. I don't know why. I have no idea when season 2 is coming out, but I also found this really cool show from A&E about cults.
Really?
So I was watching that.
Weird.
So yeah, I watched all that. It was kind of interesting. It had some like people who were cult survivors who had left the cult, and
okay.
So they had like the first. I think there was like 8 or 10 episodes, and the first like 6 episodes were about these cults, and then like the last 2 were like members all sat down and were talking to each other, and that was less interesting because it just seemed like there was one woman that's like, well, people think that people who join cults are stupid, and I'm like, you fucking are. Like, is that a joke? Like, come on. So yeah, that was a little frustrating. I kind of stopped watching after that, but
Sure.
other than that, it was fun. I love cult shit.
That's interesting. Em was watching a series one time that was hosted by Leah Remini because she was a known Scientologist who left Scientology and then produced this, hey, here's why I left and here's why Scientology is the way that it is and all that. And I thought that some of the stuff that she was telling me was really interesting. I'm not going to go back and watch the show, but...
That was a good series.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, Rachel and I watched it.
Wait, what was it called?
I don't know.
Leah
what it was.
Remini, the after something of Scientology.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was more like, because like I love the Jonestown stuff, like the really weird stuff, and this was more like Nexium. Is that a cult? I don't know. I think that was one of them that I was watching, and some like just really weird sects of Christianity, and those aren't as interesting to me. I'm like, no, give me some Jonestown, and I'm a happy girl.
Patrick, what have you been watching?
Yeah, I've been watching some more 2019 horror because I still need to come up to the end of this year and know what the hell I'm talking about. So some good, some bad, as we all know. Some even worse than bad. I've been catching up on Walking Dead. I've been DVRing all the episodes. I'm only 2 episodes into the season so far, enjoying what I'm seeing so far.
I
didn't
heard
know-
if you're a Walking Dead fan, this is the season to like.
It's this one's pretty gruesome, pretty bloody, pretty gory
Yeah.
so far. I'm appreciating it.
They got
There
a new
was some-
showrunner, right? That's why it's kind of
Yes.
turned around, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
When are you gonna watch Martyrs, Patrick?
So then, well,
Every time.
Sorry I interrupted. I just was like, I had questions because I haven't watched it in 5 years.
I finished watching American Horror Story 1984 Snooze Fest.
Yay.
I'm going to finish it.
I would say finish it. To me, I just felt like they...
I thought you said don't finish it.
No, I'm saying I would say finish it for Josh.
Oh, okay.
For me, what happened is they threw everything in way too early. So by the end of the season, they were just trying to throw in every possible fucking twist they could
Okay.
just to make an American Horror Story.
Okay.
And like in the last episode, I'm like, really? 10 minutes later. Really? 10 minutes later.
Gotcha.
Fucking really?
They're capping it at season 10. And did you see the article? They want to take
did.
American Horror Story into space.
I saw that.
Yes, some Jason X shit.
Yes.
Okay. I've also been watching Castle Rock, which is what I think American Horror Story wanted to be. I don't know. I can't get into the head of Ryan Murphy in any way, shape, or form, but Castle Rock is really awesome this season. They are interweaving Annie Wilson
You're right.
Wilson, not Annie Wilson, Wilkes.
Wilkes.
From Misery,
From Misery, yeah.
with Salem's Lot. So they're mixing 2 universes really well with each
I've
other.
never seen Salem's Lot. So if I've never seen that, will I get it?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, without.
It's not something to get. Just know that they're using that universe. I mean, you know what Salem's Lot is.
I have the
about,
idea, yeah,
a
yeah,
rough
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Sure. And speaking of Salem's Lot, that's going to be coming out as a rebooted movie by the same director of Dr. Sleep, which I went and saw. And I'm hoping what he did with Dr. Sleep is not what he's going to do with Salem's Lot.
That bad, huh?
It wasn't bad. It just, I'll step back. When I read the book initially, I said, this will not make a good movie. And then they announced they were going to make a movie out of it. And I went, okay, why would you do that? The changes that he made from the book to the movie, I will say the last half of the movie was actually a good movie because he changed what Stephen King had done. He actually took it back to the Overlook. Mm-hmm. In the book, they go back to Colorado, but the Overlook has been torn down. It's now an RV camp. Well, no, he changed it, so he actually goes back to the Overlook, and they rebuilt it to look like what Kubrick had done, and they introduced actors that looked like the original characters from Kubrick's movie to play
Okay.
instead of doing CGI stuff. So what he did in the second half, I really, really enjoyed, but as an overall movie, I kind of went,
So what? Sorry, Josh.
No, go ahead.
What would it be one that you would recommend going and seeing in theaters, or waiting until it comes out on a streaming? Or
this one you do not have to see in a theater. There's
Okay.
nothing about it that says, I need to see this on a big screen.
I've been on the fence about that, and I remember reading your initial reaction and kind of turned me off to going and
Yeah.
see it in theaters. But now that you're talking that he
mean,
actually
if you
goes
could-
back to the Overlook, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
If you can go on a cheap night, I would recommend it on a
$5
$5
movie
night
night?
or something
Okay,
like
okay.
that. I just don't know if it's going to be in theaters that long because it's not doing well in the box office. And then finally, my daughter got me hooked on this TV show on Hulu called Letterkenny.
Oh God.
I've only seen the first episode, but it's hysterical.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
God, I
it
hate that
makes
show.
me laugh so much. It is so stupid. It is so stupid. It's a Canadian comedy series, and it's just you just sit
It's
back,
stupid humor,
and it makes me laugh. So that's what I've been watching. Josh, what have you been watching?
So an Emily recommendation. The last time we were down here, she was talking about a show she started called Versailles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I wonder what this shit is. This is like, she's talking about it, and I was like, I found it on Netflix because it had this like, I was a big fan of Spartacus when it came out, and like these old like historical kind of shows. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm gonna give this a shot. So I was like, because like if I watch one episode and I don't like it, I'll just bomb out of there and I won't watch it anymore.
Fair.
3 episodes later, I'm like, this shit's kind of good.
Is that because of all the boobs, all the naked breasts?
No, it's actually like
and the
It's the
naked
dude
butts?
stuff.
it's
all the sex, all the like soft porn sex. That's
it's
in
the
it.
dude stuff, like Greg said. Really, that I'm just like, there's a lot of dude ass in this. Kind of interested.
What's this called?
So yeah, no, it's actually like it's super well written, it's super well acted. It's a really interesting show. I haven't watched it since I started it. And I watched like 3 episodes in a row, and that was a couple weeks ago now. So I haven't seen any since because I've been trying to check out other shit. But like the few episodes I have seen, it is really, really interesting. It's very backstabbish and just stuff like that. It's really interesting. So I checked that out based off of your wife's recommendation.
Shout out to Emily.
I talked about a movie when I came in here today that I watched that's gonna fall on my fucking top 10 just terrible fucking movies of this year when we do that episode. 47 Meters Down Uncaged is fucking
yay. I'm so glad to hear that.
awful. It's really awful. And it's not just awful, like the acting was bad and it was just
Now you liked the first one though, didn't you?
I loved the first one.
The first one was fantastic.
And I was like,
were there underwater Mayan zombie shark people?
The sharks were really, like the CGI sharks were terrible.
See, it sucks because then you get a movie like Crawl where the CGI is just amazing.
Really
It's
great,
like,
yeah.
don't they vet out these animation companies before they actually do the work?
They probably do, and then they
Then
look
they
at their
get
budget
that,
and they're
yeah.
like, fart, fine, do it.
CGI is so expensive.
Sylvester Stallone's daughter's in it. Jamie Foxx's daughter's in it. I was like, this has got some like, I mean, their parents are like star power. They should be able to like, they probably grew up in the industry. They should be kind of like know how to act. They can't.
But they got
they
got the job because of their parents.
Pretty much.
Here's how you break into the industry. Go do a really bad movie.
Yeah.
So it'll only get better from there.
It was really bad. Towards the end, I was like, oh no, they're going to do what they did in 47 Meters Down, and I'm about to be really pissed off with the twist and everything, but they didn't do it. So I was kind of happy with that. But yeah, the overall movie was just really bad.
Steer clear of that one.
And
I got to watch it before the end of the year, though.
Yeah, I watched it because it was 2019. Sorry, hang on a second. I bought it because it was 2019, and I own the first one. So I was like, I own the first one.
Do you ever have buyer's regret?
Leave me
because
the
you
fuck
do-
alone.
No, like if we were to go
feel
through
attacked.
if we were to go through your DVD collection,
Yeah.
what percentage would you say is buyer's remorse?
15,
Okay,
20, maybe 20.
Not
15.
a bad ratio.
I love a lot of the movies that I buy, but lately it's been like I threw a rock and I was like, I hit that movie, I'll buy it. And I miss them in theaters, and I could just like be like, oh, just rent it off Prime, and I don't. I fucking buy it and go, I wish I would have paid $4.99 instead of $19.99 for that one.
yeah.
I hear Redbox is also $1.
I don't. Here's the thing: if I go to Redbox and I rent a movie, I will discover that movie's still sitting on my shelf 30 days later. And now it's a $30 fucking dollar movie and not a $1 movie.
That's fair. That's fair.
And that's the problem I had with Netflix was I'd get a movie in the mail, it'd sit on my shelf for 2 months, and I wouldn't even watch it and be like, I want the next one, and send it back, not even without even watching it. So
Yeah, I gave up paying money for boxes a long time ago.
so yeah, 47 Meters Down Uncaged. Steer clear of that pile of crap. Favorite movie, hands down, by far of the year. I saw The Joker. I was so
mind-blowing.
embarrassed that it took me 4 weeks now since that's been out to see that movie. And generally it's because I just didn't have time to go see it. It wasn't because I was like, people were just hyping this dog shit movie up. I just didn't have the time to go see it.
But it's also one of those movies that you look at the trailers and stuff, and you're going like, I don't know. I don't know.
Never had that thought.
Really?
I was
didn't
always
either.
going to go see The Joker.
I agree.
I was hesitant on that one, but I'm glad.
And I've told you guys this already because I went and saw the movie and I was like, Jesus, how did I wait to fucking see this movie? It's the best portrayal of the Joker I've seen since Jack Nicholson did it. And like I told you guys, it's because I felt like I was not watching a character. Like Heath Ledger and when Jared Leto did it, you felt like you were watching a character that's an anarchist and somebody that's like, I'm just going to blow shit up. And I'm playing a little over the top character, and where you're watching an actual human being
descend,
suffering. It was reaching out for help, and nobody's extending a hand to help them.
Yeah.
And where it was a movie about basically mental health. And
Exactly.
with a Joker kind of
Exactly.
tie.
Yes.
And
That's exactly what it was. It was a movie about mental health.
And Joaquin Phoenix was, like you guys said, he should get a nomination. 100,000% should get a nomination. I haven't seen beyond horror movies. I haven't seen a lot of films outside of the horror film genre this year. I don't generally see a lot of films, so I don't know who he would go up against. But whoever he goes up against is going to have a fucking tough time. And I know they don't generally like to give Oscars out to like comic book movies, but I didn't feel like I was watching a comic
I didn't
movie
feel
at
like I was
all.
watching a comic book
No,
movie
not at all.
either.
Not at all.
It was just overall, it was a beautiful fucking movie.
Absolutely.
And it will be in my collection as soon as it comes out.
Oh, agreed.
So have all you guys seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I was so goddamn far behind, and I had to catch
Oh
up.
God,
on that
no.
movie.
No. All good. All good.
So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
All right. So I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for so long for Disney Plus to come out, and it finally released. And good times were had by all because I was looking at my childhood on a screen, and it was magical. Shut up, Patrick.
I was thinking of a joke for that, but
Watching my childhood on a screen?
yeah, I figured the FBI would get involved if I opened my mouth, so let's keep going.
I watched your childhood on a screen.
It's because I showed it to you.
And here comes the FBI.
There it is. There it is. Ooh, sirens. All right. I haven't really watched a whole lot on there. I'm still kind of navigating all the content that they have on there because, good God, they put everything on there. What I have been able to watch, though, are the first 2 released episodes of The Mandalorian. And I am impressed with what I'm seeing so far. Very impressed. The Star Wars universe up until this point has been a little lackluster. And I've been hoping and waiting for something to come along that, I don't know if it gives it a revival or just makes me happier to actually be watching something Star Wars related. And this is finally it. So I'm excited to see where they go. It's interesting because it's got a real Western feel to it. And you don't see a lot of stuff with Westerns anymore, but I mean, this is kind of a nice, interesting, like sci-fi Western tie. I'm interested to see where it goes. So I would encourage anybody, if you've got Disney Plus or you know somebody with Disney Plus, pull the trigger, watch it.
It's the original content that Disney Plus is going to put out that's going to fucking pull me into that goddamn streaming service.
Probably.
Yeah, I was interested in that Mandalorian. I love Star Wars, but the Last Jedi made me real fucking salty.
Yeah. And
Like, fucking
you and a
salty.
lot of people
Yeah, I know I'm not alone in that.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie.
say Solo wasn't much better either. Actually, Solo was worse than
How
The
much-
Last
Solo
Jedi.
was-
Disney from like when you were a kid is on there, like not the Mandalorian, not
we don't
DC or not Marvel, not Star Wars, not that shit. But
We
like,
don't have that kind of time, dude.
No.
It's-
I'm just saying, like, I'm not asking you to name all 1,000 fucking titles.
That's what I'm telling
just
you.
No,
saying,
they open the vaults.
It's
Okay.
every
Except
like
for a handful
So-
of the extremely racist ones. They've got,
no, Dumbo's on there.
but I'm talking like Song of the South.
That's
racist.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. No, there's quite a bit because that was the first thing that I wanted to do was see. You know, I had read lists of this is what they're planning on releasing,
Right.
but obviously it's not
Right.
different, or it's different from what they actually released. And there was movies on there like, oh my god, I forgot I used to watch that as a kid, or this,
Right.
that, and the other thing. And I'm blown away with all the content that
I
they have
asked
on
that
there.
question because it used to be every so many years Disney would release one title that you can buy for 6 months, and then you can't get that.
But that
Yeah,
was
it goes
out of
through
their
the vault.
that was out of their classic collection.
Yeah.
Like we're talking stuff that was played on the Disney Channel from way back when, before you had to actually like pay a cable subscription for it.
That's the stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're classics. Like what? There's
That's
a
all
lot of
on
their-
there.
It's
all on there.
And
Okay.
I mean they released like a good chunk of what they have as far as their library goes, and I'm anticipating that they're going to continue releasing more and more and more as they go. But
Gotcha.
I just like, yeah, it would take me quite a while to start knocking out some of the stuff, just going back and rewatching the stuff that I remember as a kid. So
Okay.
we're running a little long on time, which is okay because I like having discussions with you guys. So let's jump over into our topic, which was brought to us by our Scream Queen, Maddie. She's going to dive us into it. Maddie, go.
I am. So tonight we watched a movie about haunted houses. So I kind of wanted us to just talk about our experiences with, and I'm talking about haunted attractions. I'm not talking about like an actual legitimate haunted house. I'm talking about the fun theatrical shit we do around Halloween.
The things you go and get scared by on Halloween.
The shit you pay for. So I kind of just wanted to see what everyone's experiences or thoughts were about haunted houses, and especially extreme haunts, because our horror feature tonight is kind of about an extreme haunt, although no one knows about it yet. So yeah, let's start off, like, who would go to like an extreme haunt, and what would you classify as extreme? Like, where's your line?
If it was right now, I would say absolutely not. Take me back about 10, 15 years. God, I'm old. I probably would have given it a shot just to see what they were like. But that was also before I had seen movies like The House is October Built, the documentary Haunters, this movie that we watched tonight. Anything like that, where all of a sudden I'm starting to think like this shit could actually like go down, like the really, really drastic stuff. So maybe when I was younger, I probably would have given it a shot, but not so much anymore.
You go ahead.
Where do you tap out? We kind of talked about that before we jumped on here, but like, where do you draw your line? Where do you tap out if you go to a haunted house and you know nothing about it?
If I walk up to a haunted house and I say, hey, I want to check this place out, and they say, okay, we need you to sign a waiver, I'm going to say, deuces, bitch, I'm out.
Okay.
That to me brings it way too close to home. Like, I don't need to be signing waivers of, hey, if you accidentally get hurt in here, we're not liable for this. The fuck are you going to do that I'm going to get hurt by? Like, that no.
For me, I think it would be based on, and this is going off, as I told you guys before, I've never been to like a haunted house before. I think that it would be based on probably what the waiver said. Like, if it's just a waiver saying we're not responsible if you have a heart attack or, something, I don't want to say mundane because heart attacks are not but mundane compared to, like, if they're saying I have to sign a waiver because I am going to be physically assaulted during the course of this haunted house. So I think that's where the line is for me, is if they physically touch me. If I have to give permission for them to physically touch me in any way, shape, or form, I would say probably no way, because I do have a bubble around me.
As I did mention before when we were talking about this, most of the time when you go to a haunted house and you buy a ticket, you are signing a waiver. The ones that I go to in Kansas City have a waiver you have to sign online. But most of the time the waivers say, hey, we use strobe lights in here. So if you have
epilepsy,
it's usually like a health-related thing.
Yeah, most 99.9% of the time it's a health-related thing, or it's kind of like, it's dark in there. People are running. It gets a little chaotic. It's basically just saying, you know what, if we have an actual accident, please you cannot sue us for it. And that is an okay waiver to me. Especially like if it specifies like accidental touching. If it's like, hey, our actors are gonna like lock you in a box and like rape you with a broom handle. No, like I don't want that.
If it says being raped with a broom handle, I may be okay with that.
Use extra lube.
But didn't you talk about one time, Josh, you went up to Crypticon in Minnesota, and you and Elizabeth, okay, do your thing, go for it.
But I want to find out really where Maddie's line, like where's your line?
I would never go to a haunted house that allowed touching, just because I've worked in a haunted house for over 10 years. I would never be comfortable touching a patron, because, as I said, it's chaotic. You have no idea how people are going to react, and I'm not willing to push that boundary.
Oh, yeah, you get popped in the face quick.
Oh my gosh, I got punched, hit, kicked, slapped so many times when I worked in a haunted house, and I exclusively worked in no-touch haunted houses. And so, like, I would never be comfortable putting myself on the other end. So, yeah, no, I am not into those. I think those extreme haunts have a place, but I would never go participate in one because I think it's way too easy to go way too far. And I just really, I don't want to get paid to get punched in the face. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my It's not my kink. That's not my thing.
There's better mediums where you could get that sort of satisfaction.
Yeah, like I'm really obnoxious. I can just go out in public and get punched in the face.
Yeah, I gave up pain for getting punched in the face a long time ago.
And we've seen that video, Patrick. Thank you.
Thanks, dick pics.
I want to go to that haunted house where there's just dick pics everywhere. Touching.
Just getting slapped with
they
them.
blind-
Just like slapped with dicks.
They walk you through blindfolded.
That's the only touching I want. Is
What
just be
is
slapped in the
this?
face with a dildo.
It's so squishy.
I have a weird curiosity about how far I would be willing to go. And a lot of this came out of watching that, is it McKinney Manor? It's a documentary.
Yeah.
And when we watched Haunters, The Art of the Scare, and it's the one guy that runs that McKinney Manor or whatever. And the stuff they've shown and the stuff that you that they can show or what you've seen there, and how far I could go in that, just myself. And it's just a curiosity. I'm just want to know. Like, part of me wants to put myself through it just so I can see where my line is, because I don't know. I don't have a problem with people touching me at all.
Josh, I'm hugging you after
as
this.
long as they finish me. And I don't
Wait a minute,
have
finish you or finish you off?
one and then the other.
Okay.
I don't have a huge problem with small spaces, so I don't think the boxing would really bother me. Even if I am a fat guy, small spaces don't really bother me that much. Live bugs are kind of a thing. But I have a weird curiosity as to how far I could personally go, to the point where, like, I've thought about putting myself in that situation just to find out.
So what happens if you're in that situation and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this is my line, but we're only halfway through.
Then
They all have
they've got to have
Yeah,
some
they
Do they have
Yeah,
safe words?
yeah,
You could
yeah.
say
Yeah.
"Spadoinkle" or
that
"Nerf herder"
McKinney
or
Manor
whatever.
guy tells you this is what you have to say, and he will let you go.
Okay.
But you have to, like, and it's like degrading. It's degrading as all fuck. But you have to say it for him to let you out of that situation.
Is McKinney Manor still on Netflix, by the way?
It's a documentary on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah,
Okay.
Haunters is still on.
Haunters on-
is
okay,
Netflix.
that's
But that McKinney Manor documentary I watched, I think, on YouTube, and you can just go watch it anytime. And he shows like a really it's a full day long thing, because he doesn't just throw you into the stuff. He goes through a 100-page long waiver with you. He sits down and has lunch with you. He gets to know you, and then he completely destroys all of the trust.
That almost makes
Oh,
it
shit,
worse.
I gotta watch
Or
that.
worse.
But yeah, I have this really weird.
He dates your mom.
Yeah,
Fucks your dad.
yeah.
Damn.
But Greg brought this thing up. A few years back, I went to I went to Minneapolis Crypticon, and we were on our night was done, so we were looking for shit to do, and they have, I think it's Blackout in Minneapolis. I'm not sure if it was Blackout, but I know that's there. They have 3 different Blackouts, but we were asking for a haunted house to go to, and a guy pointed one out and said, just so you know, when you get there, you have to sign a waiver and don't bring a female with you, because so I had my wife, I had Elizabeth there with me, and they're like, I would not bring her because there is a good chance she will walk out of the haunted house wearing less clothing than she went in with. And so that's where I was like, well, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, if I come out of a haunted house and my pants aren't on anymore, it's because I took them off. But if
Let's get comfortable.
yeah, if she goes in and lose clothing, it's because somebody was grabbing at her chest and wherever else they're grabbing, and they're ripping shit off of people, and that I'm not going to
That's not
sign.
cool.
I was gonna say that's kind of my issue. I think I would have a different stance on those more extreme haunted houses if I was a guy. Because I was reading something for, I can't remember if it was Blackout or McKinney Manor, but there was a review on it that called it Uncle Touchy's Rape House. And you know what? As a woman, I'm not going to go in and get sexually assaulted. Especially,
Right.
I don't know who's working there. It could be freaking, I don't know, some guy they just drug off to catch a predator. I don't know these
Right.
people.
Right,
I don't know
yeah.
if they're hey, I'm going to work here just so I can feel up on some chick's titties.
Right. Did they do background checks?
I would assume they'd have
Because
to.
there was a haunted house in Texas where a dude straight up fucking murdered a person.
The haunted houses
In the
I
haunted
worked with,
house.
they never did a background
Wow.
check.
Yeah, see, that's the shit that scares me. Like, you do not know who's back there, and they don't give a shit about
Yeah.
background checks and
Yeah,
things
I
like
was
that.
working back there. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
going to say that's
You're
why I
fine.
could probably only do like the Universal Studio Hollywood Horror Night type thing because
That's on my bucket list.
is it?
Yes.
Alexis worked there for 2 or 3 years.
I 1,000% am going to do it witin the
Yeah.
next year or two.
Nice.
So,
What did you do while you were
working at
working
Uncle
at the
Rapey's
Uncle
haunted house.
Rapey's haunted house?
Uncle Touchy's rape house. I collected the clothes that people tore up. No, I'm kidding. For a really long time, I was the girl from The Exorcist. They wouldn't let me outside because I'm a very loud screamer, and I kept getting the cops called on us.
Oh, nice.
At one haunted house, I was in this really cool black room with a bunch of like black light paint splatter, and I had a costume that matched it, and so I would stand up against the wall and you couldn't see coming in.
Which haunted house was that?
That
in Eagle Hollow?
no, that was
Okay.
Arizona Scream Park.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in Oregon, I was I worked at this haunted house that was legitimately the coolest thing ever. This guy just thought of like everything. And so at one point I had the chainsaw, which was super fun. And then another night I was a ghost, and they had rigged the system up. So when I went like that, I was lifted up off the ground, and I could go like that, and the furniture all moved out of the way. It was really,
Very
really
pretty
cool. And I loved the shit out of it. I had a great fucking time there. I love these people. Milburn Manor in Oregon, if you're in the Oregon area and listening, love them, love them, love them, love
Did you
them.
make anybody shit
Nice.
their pants?
No,
Just Tiffany.
we used to, at my first haunted house that we worked at, we had a tick mark when grown men cried. We would, one guy, my favorite haunt reaction ever, this man came through with his wife, and I came up behind them and started the chainsaw, and he threw his wife
Yep.
at me, screamed, take her, and ran off.
Oh,
And I was just like, you are in the doghouse forever.
They had discussion that night.
Yeah, I was like, she's gonna
That's where the fight
I
started.
you.
I love watching, like people post the photographs, like
Oh,
they
yeah.
snap them like at the moment they're scared, and how many guys are like cowering behind their wives and girlfriends. Oh man, those just
yeah. So yeah, our haunt discussion.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's transition over to our other haunt discussion, the movie that we watched for this evening, which was also called Haunt. Patrick, hit us with the deets.
Yes, Haunt, released in 2019, running an hour 32, now showing on Shudder. I think it's a Shudder exclusive.
It
right?
is.
Yes.
On Halloween, a group of friends encounter an extreme haunted house that promises to feed on their darkest fears. The night turns deadly as they come to the horrifying realization that some nightmares are real. IMDb score 6.3, Metacritic score rating 69%, Rotten Tomatoes critic score 71%, and Rotten Tomatoes audience score is not yet available.
That's low.
It is very low.
Who picked this?
I think we kind of said...
It was a collective?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
well we had our meeting the other
You
day.
know, meeting, yeah, we kind of,
Because we were
threw it
looking
out
for
there.
something to watch.
We're looking for a 2019 film
Yeah.
to watch, I think. And there's a couple that came out on the table.
And this is one that I needed to watch. You guys had already seen it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Who's got thoughts on Haunt?
I'll start. I actually really liked this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That's a win.
Yeah, I know. I liked it. I had a good time watching. I did not. There were two little parts that I just kind of wanted to pick at. That the main girl's like backstory. I just was like, this has no
bearing
fucking
on
relevance.
it.
No,
yeah.
none at
Could
all.
have been taken
Yeah,
out.
it was so pointless. And then I did not like the last 10 minutes of the movie. It just kind of like it drug. It seemed like it was just kind of, it should have stopped. Like,
Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Yeah, I was
Oh
going to
my
say
gosh,
we're
oh
gonna,
my gosh,
no,
I'm
it's
so
okay. I was going to say
awful. No.
we'll talk for a bit, non-spoiler alert, and then we will give a high sign when we're going to go into spoilers.
You didn't spoil.
No, there was
Okay.
nothing spoiled.
Okay,
Nothing
okay.
spoiled. Nothing has been spoiled. We'll give a high sign where we're going to
How
start
about we just say
spoiling.
spoilers now? Because I know someone's
It could
gonna
slip.
someone's
All
gonna
right,
slip.
fine. We
Yeah,
are going to spoil the
spoilers.
shit out of this. So spoilers. It is happening right now. Maddie, go.
Okay.
yeah, no, that I did not understand what was happening at the end. It just kind of seemed to like drag on, and then like all of a sudden, like the bad guys go into her house, and I just didn't care. I don't know. I just didn't like how it ended.
It really should have ended as they were driving away in the truck, or even the hospital. I would have been okay with, but yeah, anything after that was just kind of.
You don't like that they Home Aloned it?
Yeah, no, I was just kind of like, what the fuck? No, but overall, I really dug this.
How do you leave it open for Haunt 2 with that type of an ending?
Is it necessary to make a Haunt too?
You know that if it's successful enough, they will.
They'll
A
find
Shudder exclusive though. I don't know.
I don't know.
Do they have that kind of?
They made a second houses that October built.
That is 100% true. They didn't leave it open.
They
for
did not
Haunt
leave it open.
2 at all, and I don't think. I think they'll. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
they'll find a way.
I think
there'll be some secret mask person that pops up or something. I don't know. They'll find a way.
They will ruin that movie if they make a second one. 100%. They'll ruin it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, another thing I really liked is they looked like real people, not like the monsters, but like the actors looked like real people,
like people who just walked in off the street who wanted to go and check out a haunted house. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like they looked like they were the age they were supposed to be.
Yep.
It's not like a 50-year-old man playing like a teenager or whatever the hell they're trying to do.
It's like when they get people who just graduated college playing teenagers.
Right.
Yeah. No, I dug this. I thought this was a really good time. Easy watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had the same thoughts that Maddie had as far as the whole unnecessary backstory of her. I didn't really see how it fit in to the rest of it.
I think they just wanted it for when she was hiding underneath the bed.
It's almost like they
that was the
needed
only
that.
thing.
Yeah,
That was the only tie-in.
because they talk about her family a little bit at the beginning. Like, you know, she talks about how like she has had this great childhood, but then you kind of see the opposite. But
kind of- deteriorated.
They tried to connect it, but they
kind of
didn't.
explains why she gets into an abusive relationship in the first place, is because she witnessed abusive relationships as she was growing
That was
up.
the other thing I didn't really think they needed in there.
Was
the whole
the boyfriend
thing? I
Yeah,
didn't think they needed
Oh my
that.
gosh!
It was
what a-
kill count.
It was kill count.
That was all he
100%
was.
kill count. Yeah.
Because he didn't interact with anybody. It's like get him in there and like attempt to save someone or see someone that he went to there. I mean, he had to at least seen his girlfriend in order to try something. It's like, you know what? Nobody beats the shit out of my girlfriend except me. And then, and then put up a fight. But no, he walks in.
He made it 30 seconds into the
He made
house.
30 seconds and then got screwed.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought there was some really cool some kind of cool kills in the crowbar thing with the
the hammer. No, it was a hammer
thing?
claw.
Yeah,
The hammer claw.
I thought that was kind of cool. All the masks.
Is that when he pulled on the face?
Yeah,
Is that
the
when-
big guy,
See,
outside. I thought that was
for
kind of
me,
cool.
when it got there, to me, it looked a little fake, and I think it would have, for me personally, it would have been more effective if they just, they put the thing where he placed it, cut back up to the clown, and then just you hear the sound and the splatter, and let my mind fuck with it.
I'm glad they didn't cut away. I think they cut away too soon.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the rest of the
More
top
of the
head.
face
Top of the
peel.
head go.
You wouldn't get that blood splatter. There's not a ton of.
Oh, it doesn't matter, but
Pressure.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's not a ton.
It's a
Hearing-
goddamn
hearing-
movie. The splatters wherever it wants to.
No, hearing the sound alone, just
Right.
anything with metal things
Right.
and mouths and teeth.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought-
a cringeworthy moment
Yeah.
for sure.
One of the cooler things I thought that they did was the bit with the witch and how they kept unzipping the body bag.
Yeah.
And they did that twice. I thought
That
that was a
was
really
real
cool bit.
cool.
Well, it was a good repeat. You
Yeah.
they see it. You see it once, and it's like, okay, they're all actors. Then you see it the second time with someone real. You're like, oh
Right.
fuck.
But then that witch got the shit kicked out of her real fucking quick at the end. Like, it didn't even take long at all.
That was another thing that kind of bugged me at the end. Was me as an audience member knew what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why did the witch allow that to happen? Then I realized, well, the witch didn't realize there was another person coming up.
That's true.
But
yeah,
as an
no, this
audience
is-
member, I'm going, okay, this is going to happen. She's going to step off. He's going to pop out.
Right.
She's toast.
Right.
Not necessarily, because he was pushing on the bottom of that. She had to have been able to feel something on that plate. I would think. I mean,
I know what
obviously
you're saying.
you're putting reality into a movie,
Right.
which you
Right.
can't
If
do.
she could feel something pushing on the plate, she wouldn't have moved off the plate.
For me, though, if there's reality to put into a movie, this is the kind of movie you put reality
Exactly,
into.
and
So you can get away from
that's what
away
I
with it.
that's what I really appreciated about this is the killers in this haunt were real people. They weren't like the Jasons that kept getting knocked down and getting back up and
Right.
chasing him down. These people went down as they should have. You
Yeah.
know, like you said, the witch went down way too quick. It was perfect.
That
I mean,
sh-
I like the way she was killed.
that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was cool.
Yeah.
that shotgun blast where you saw his head like explode. I thought that was really
great.
cool.
That was great.
But right after that, she gets up and starts walking down the hallway. I'm saying, just
Crawl, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and then I'm like, what kind of shotgun are you getting shot with? Because she got it looked like it shot her right in the chest.
That was one of the problems I had with that shotgun. Was so far back that A, it wouldn't have blasted the wood open like that.
Oh yeah.
B, it was probably shrapnel that she caught.
And it looked
out of that.
And it looked like a 410, which is smaller caliber pellets
Yeah.
in it. And the spray's not going to go too far, but it's still not going to hit as hard.
No, the shotgun would have had to have been right next to that piece of wood for that to
give
explode it like
the
it did.
way it did. And
So-
for where she got shot, no, it's not going to be that one small place. It looked like she got hit
Yeah.
by a rifle as opposed to a shotgun.
Right. And that's why I think it was the shrapnel of the wood exploding that caught her.
Sure.
So
Okay.
that's the only because it's a spread
That's
shot,
right, yeah.
and that would have covered her. She would have been toast
No,
at that
you're
point.
you're absolutely
And
right.
maybe I have this wrong, but I felt like they were trying to bring this cult vibe thing to the end of it, where they dressed
Yeah.
her friend in a different mask and she killed her. But they're coming for they wanted the final girl to be part of this.
Well, and they said
haunt thing.
what'd they say? Somebody said something like, "Oh, I earned my face," or "You earned your face," or something.
The guy who was trying to lead them out.
Yeah.
I think he was in the vampire mask. He said that there was something like a
Yeah.
tattoo artist or something that transformed their faces.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, we saw the other ones, which let's
Well,
come
and
back to
you
that.
had the one
Right.
guy that at the end that was saying they promised me they wouldn't do anything with my face as long as I went along and did all this other stuff. So there was that element
Right.
of
Right.
almost cultish where it's like we
Okay.
need to do this part of it.
So let's jump on. I want to jump onto this really quick while we're still talking about it. The friend who was thrown into what appeared to be like a leader type role that was in the real detailed skull mask there at the end.
The girl, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really confused as to was she a part of this entire thing?
No, but she couldn't. I don't know why she didn't say anything when she was behind the mask. Don't fucking stab me with something.
That's what doesn't make sense to me, because the way that she was portrayed, she was just sitting there, and it was almost like she was in charge of this entire ordeal. And then she all of a sudden gets up and starts walking through these things like she's been through this haunted area 1,000 times before. And then she takes I don't even remember, what was it, a pitchfork? She took a pitchfork to the chest or something.
At the beginning, she didn't guide them to where they were. They just happened upon it. So my assumption was that she was captured going through the tunnels, held, and maybe the mask kept her from being able to speak.
Right.
That was the one thing that bothered me, is that they took the mask off and she wasn't gagged.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I had troubles with.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the one who got her arm cut up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was something I was kind of confused about, because there were times that she was almost in shock, even though it didn't look like she was losing a lot of blood. But then next thing you know, she's crawling around just fine and yelling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so is she losing too much blood or not? You don't just magically get more of it just hanging
exactly.
out.
The phrase "take off your mask," I wasn't understanding why they kept fucking saying that. I didn't get it. Otherwise, other than the fact that it kind of sounds like a kind of a cool thing to say, I guess. But
to me, I
didn't
kind of
fit.
felt it as what we wear right now is a mask that you need to get to what you really are, and that's what they were doing with their own faces.
but it's almost
They were
like
revealing themselves.
that by them telling her to take off her mask was them saying it's like they knew her secret and they were trying to get her to
I don't think they knew her secret. I think they
expose
were,
what.
Yeah.
You know what
I
mean?
think
I didn't.
I think it's more would you trust someone wearing a mask versus someone, because you assume most people working at haunted houses are just normal people who have something on. If you were really freaked out, do you want someone to come up to you in a demon mask and be like, "Oh, let me help you," or do you want to see a normal person be like, "Hey, let me help you with this"?
Yeah. When he first said that, I thought maybe he was going to try to actually remove her face.
That would have been better. The attempt, at least,
The
would have
attempt,
been better.
yeah.
I don't like these movies. I didn't. The one thing I didn't like about this movie was I didn't like that somebody survived. I wish that all of them would have been just done, and the one masked person left was still sitting in that haunted house, not burning it to the fucking ground for whatever reason he did that, and just waited for the next group of people to come through. And there was not a final girl.
Yeah.
I would have preferred that myself.
Because 2 people end up surviving.
True.
Yes. The guy that fucking got shot with a gun at the end there, somehow he lived too. Apparently,
Yeah, that was
gunshots
another
are
one. It
just-
looked like it went like right here,
Yeah.
and like
Hit him in the side, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, but no, when he first got shot, there was a
It did-
blood
yeah.
thing right here.
Oh,
like,
okay.
right
I
here,
must have
and then
missed
all of
that
a
part.
sudden, so when he
Oh,
like got up,
continuity issues.
yeah, when he got up and was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine," I was like, "You got shot in the chest,
Yeah.
motherfucker! What are you
So-
doing?"
Anyway, those are my kind of thoughts.
This is one of the movies I watched for our October 31 Days of Horror, and it was just I was running out of movies and needed to watch it, and I was just extremely pleased with how it turned out. I think the best part of this entire movie was how real it all felt. With the characters, like we said, they felt like they were actual college students or right out of college or whatever they were. They were cast very well for what they were portraying. They stepped into this very realistic looking haunt, and all of a sudden they get thrown into this situation of insanity, and you feel like it's legitimate. I think that was the best part of the entire thing. Was I felt I felt a lot of realism throughout the entire thing, even when it was getting kind of crazy, and you're seeing things that normally wouldn't happen or in situations like that. It felt real to me, and I think that's what I liked about it. I want to talk a little bit about the masks and what happened after they revealed them, because I was really, really impressed with what they did with that. Like
Makeup.
why they were wearing the masks, only to reveal that they were basically the humanized version of the mask that they were wearing. Like, what's the point of wearing the mask?
Right.
Once they did reveal, it's something that you didn't expect.
Was the exact
like-
same thing that they were wearing.
Yeah, because like when Mitch was talking, I didn't expect him to pop off his mask and have a deformed face.
Right.
The main guy, yeah. At first I thought maybe
the
he
clown
was
or the devil.
the devil.
Okay.
Because when he popped his off and he still had the horns and the full black eyes and everything, I for a moment thought, oh shit, this is a demon movie.
Oh shit, Darth Maul.
Yeah. Pretty close. No, I thought possibly it was a demon movie at that
Sure.
point, and then I said, oh no, okay. But I think the purpose of the mask was so that we didn't see what was behind that. Did we ever see? Yeah, we did. The blonde-haired clown guy. We did see his face eventually, right?
The blonde-haired clown guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he was sitting at the desk going through the phones.
Yeah, we saw him. The one that I wanted to see more was the witch. We just barely caught a glimpse of her after she took the
Yeah,
plunge.
once her mask broke.
And then the one I thought was probably the weakest was the guy with the chainsaw, who I think was masked as a zombie. He was the guy who was all pierced with the gun, who shot.
Yeah, he was kind of lame.
Yeah.
Now, I probably did not like this movie as much as you guys did, although I still did enjoy it. There was some things like I wanted the tone to be a little bit darker when they were in the haunted house. There were some times where it was pretty bright in there. I kind of wanted just that tone to be brought down just a little bit more. But more than anything, I wanted to see more of the haunted house. We only saw like about 5 or 6 locations within this haunted house.
I wouldn't even give it that many.
Yeah.
That's high.
I wanted to see more. I wanted that maze to actually feel like a maze. To me, it felt like they turned like the crawling maze, the tunnels, which reminded me of claustrophobia, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, 100%.
Once they saw that little opening and shit. But yeah, there was, and I just wanted to see more. But then I also felt that some of the escape room stuff made this movie a better escape room movie than the movie Escape Room that came out earlier this year.
100%.
Again, while I didn't probably like this as much as you guys did, it's still a movie that I would have been proud of had I made it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Right,
It's like one of those, I always kind of gauge that to say, you know what? People work hard at this craft, and it's very difficult to do, and it's very difficult to make a good movie. And this is one that I think as a filmmaker, you could sit back and say, you know, it may not be a great film, but it's still a damn good film on it. I would put Houses That October Built over this one.
Really?
No.
See, I don't know that I could agree with that. I think this was a lot better film.
So
but
the other one I felt was grungier, dirtier.
That is true.
Type of, and that's
That is
what,
true.
That's what I'm looking for in this type of
Gotcha.
movie.
But you're talking two different types of styles of movies, though. You're talking cinematic versus a found footage, and you're going to get a lot more
Right.
gritty and dirtier and raw with a found footage because you're going to have that constant camera movement versus cinematic shots and things
more
like that.
chaotic.
But see, I kind of wanted this movie to make me feel dirty.
Sure, I get that. No, I completely get
that's
that.
why I was saying I wanted it to be darker. I wanted to see more rooms. I wanted to see them be bloody and crawl through shit or something where there's
Right.
that.
You're right.
There was just something
You're
that I felt was lacking just a
Yeah.
little bit in this one from what I wanted in this movie.
No, I can get that.
I want to think. I'm kind of working my way through the rooms that we remember seeing, and I think we got to see all the rooms that there were because she ended up in the very last room.
But I wanted more.
Which is fair.
Yeah,
I get that.
The room where she went in and got her legs stuck on the nails and shit was the dirtiest, best room.
I love that room.
That haunted house.
And I
so
wanted
you wanted
that.
more of those.
It was dark. It was gritty.
Right,
It was torture based. It made me. I felt uncomfortable in that scene where I didn't feel uncomfortable in the other scenes.
For sure. Yeah.
Was that in? That was one of the rooms off of the shotgun room, wasn't it?
It was. She had to crawl through that room to get to the
escape
room.
And then it was the shotgun room.
And then it was the shotgun tunnel or hallway.
Yeah, because she went to the place with the flashlight, and that was the room with the nails on the floor.
She had to reach into like the bucket of the rat guts or whatever that was.
That was before.
To get the flashlight.
Okay, I'm getting my rooms confused then.
So
yeah, because the shotgun room was that was it. Like she was
that
the
was
shotgun room was after
she wasn't supposed to survive at that point.
She had to crawl through. She got her legs stuck on the nails, and then she had to crawl through that fucking crazy door with the knives,
the guillotine.
Yeah,
yep,
which was kind of cool.
That was awesome.
Now that, like I said, there's some really, really cool stuff in this. And by me
you just heard all of them.
Yeah. and by me saying I didn't like it as much as you guys, I still want to point out that I enjoyed this film.
Would this be a top 10 contender for you, Greg, for the year, from what you've seen?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I would definitely put it in my top 10. I don't know if I could put it at number 1. I'd have to go back and see. No, I take that back because Crawl's still on that list, and I think Crawl was a fantastic movie for this year. But I would definitely put it in my top 10, potentially my top 5.
Okay. What about you?
Of 2019.
If it hits the top 10, it would be low.
Low. Right.
Low 10.
And it very well may make it because to me there just wasn't a lot of great stuff this year.
Okay. Maddie.
This is only the second 2019 movie I've seen.
So
all
yes, it's going to be in our top 10.
It's going to be
number 1 or number 2.
Number 1 or number 2 because But
Cool.
no, as you said, 2019 I don't think was a good year for horror. I think I was not impressed with anything this year. So
all right, well, let's get rating on this. Unless anybody else had anything to say.
No.
Let's rate this. We rate this on 3 different levels. We rate it on our gore score. We rate it on our fear factor, and we give it an overall rating. What do we think on a gore score?
3.
Everybody thinks a 3. Yes.
Kiss my ass.
You don't count.
In Maddie's world, it's a 3. I was going to say a 6. I thought a 5 or 6 was fair. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. I thought I would say a 5 or 6.
5 or 6 as well. I wanted them to push it more though.
I want to give it a 6.5, even even so much as a 7, just because there are some pretty gruesome scenes in there. Shut up.
No, as I said, this went back to me, as I said, the spirit in which it was intended.
Mainly, I want to point out the boyfriend who took the bolt to the neck, and then the cinder block to the hand, and then the sledgehammer to the face.
Right.
The hammer claw was a pretty graphic scene.
The hammer claw was cool. Yeah.
I think there was a lot of really, really, really well done gore in this movie.
The
It was
exploding head, if anything, was really
great.
Yeah,
done
that was-
well.
Why am I not remembering that scene?
Shotgun.
You know what?
That one, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, sorry.
I'll give it a 4, actually. Let me bump it
Yay, we got her up one. So,
Once reminded you of all the gore. That's
up. Yeah, I was like, let's give it a 4.
I think a 6.5 is where I'm going to sit on that. So, fear factor.
I'm going to go with a 3 for fear factor. I never felt really afraid or uncomfortable.
Yeah, it
really.
didn't make me feel as uncomfortable as I wanted to be in this movie. I'd probably put it at about a 3 as well.
If it had a more claustrophobic feel to it, I probably
Even
would've
when
had
they
a higher,
they were in the claustrophobic areas,
Everything's
it
so
didn't
open.
feel. Yeah,
Yeah. So anyway,
I'll give it a 3 too, just because I go to a lot of haunted houses and I've always gone through and been like, what if someone in here is going to stab me? And I'm probably going to think about that next time I go.
I'm actually going to give it a 5 for one scene. No, 2 scenes in particular. The first scene is the sharp knives and sharp objects room. I felt very cringy during that as she was going through.
Okay.
with the nails on the floor.
The nails on the floor and just seeing all the sharp knives and things hanging from the ceiling was just like, something's going to happen. And it's just a very cringy moment. The other one was for the coffin with the little spider gag that they did.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Fuck
fun.
that. No, it was not. Shut your face. I hated every minute of that. So I'm going to give it a 5 for those 2 scenes alone.
Emma, my daughter, walked in when I was watching this movie, and there's a scene where you see the spiders crawling on the web.
on the
or
fake,
something.
on
yeah.
the fake web.
And Emma goes, "Those are so fake." And then one of them moved, and she's like, "Nope," and she ran out the room. Anyway, so fear factor for Emma was about an 8.
About an 8. I can appreciate that. Overall score.
I'm gonna go 7. I like the movie a lot, so I would give it a 7, and I would recommend it 100% to anybody with Shudder to go check it out. So
Okay.
that's where I live.
Maddie?
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 or 8. I like this a lot.
All right. Patrick?
I'm going to drop it at a 6.
You're a bitch.
High 5, 6.
With the Home Alone scene, I should give it an 8.
Oh.
Because I did like that stuff where the Home Alone stuff.
Before I write, just because I'm thinking about it now, did we actually see her pull the trigger?
You got the idea.
There's your sequel.
Did you hear the gunshot?
The gunshot, yeah.
So if you heard the
I
gunshot,
guess-
you
But
got
they
the
cut.
idea.
They cut
I guess
before.
we never actually saw the final kill.
There's your sequel.
So
There's your
she,
sequel.
She missed it 1 foot away.
yeah, I dare you, Shudder, ruin this fucking movie and make a sequel.
I'm going to give it a 7.5, 8. Again, really enjoyable. Definitely would recommend this one. It's a solid all around horror movie. So, all right, that brings us to the end. Let's get plugging away. Who's got something they want to plugs? Plugs.
I don't have a plug anymore, I don't think. So
Not for a couple more weeks anyway.
yeah. So
I was going to say I can give my annual holiday warning. Parents
Please
out
do.
there,
Please do.
this is great.
parents out there, if you get your child a live animal for the holidays and then you dump it in a shelter in a couple months, I'm going to be under your bed. So there's that.
And that will not end well for you, just FYI.
Yeah, I'm going to steal your fucking eyelids. So have fun.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
I like that. I am Greg the Movie Guy, and I am positively writing movie reviews over at gregthemovieguy.com. Patrick, take us home.
If you are a fan of the Frightcast, and we know that you are, help us out. Head on over to iTunes or whatever platform you're listening to and make sure that you rate and review us. You can also find us on the social medias, so find us on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook. And finally, check out our films at midnightfrightfilms.com.
Awesome. I am Greg the Movie Guy. This has been episode number 68. For Maddie, Josh, Patrick, and myself, we wish you a pleasant evening and a happy holidays, because we probably won't do this again until after Thanksgiving.
That's true.
So give thanks for something that you love, that you like.
Like
If you
horror movies.
Like horror movies. Yeah. If you're a parent and you buy your child something live, pray to God Maddie's not under your bed.
Kill.
Have a good night.
God damn it, Josh.